welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are going to tackle something that honestly stops a lot of people before they even start with markets. Financial charts. You know the ones, right? All those squiggly lines, the colorful bars, they can look pretty intimidating, almost like, well, like a completely foreign language. But we're diving into this really practical guide by Fred McAllen. He's an independent trader, and he wrote the book specifically for beginners, basically the book he wished he'd had starting out. So our mission today, strip away all that perceived complexity. We want to show you the simple, powerful tools McAllen says are, well, pretty much all you need to understand what the market's doing.
And that's such a crucial point, isn't it? McAllen's credibility, like you said, it doesn't come from some fancy PhD or, a big Wall Street firm. It comes from the trenches, from learning things the hard way, through trial and, likely, quite a bit of error. He's really making the case that you don't need, complex calculus or super expensive software.
Exactly. His whole argument is that if you just apply maybe 4 or 5 core concepts, but apply them with discipline, you're already way ahead of the game. Maybe ahead of like 80% of retail traders.
Yeah.
We're talking about boiling technical analysis right down to its absolute essence.
It's a really refreshing take because his premise is that all those complicated formulas, the dozens of indicators, they often just muddy the waters. They hide the actual signal. By focusing just on price action, the actual movement, and the structure on the chart, he argues you can see the market story much, much more clearly.
Okay, so let's really dig into that core idea then. Price action is king. It sounds simple, maybe too simple, but McAllen insists it's the foundation. Why should we, ignore the news alerts and just look at the price?
Well, think about it this way. The chart is the final output. It's the summary of absolutely everything. Every news report, every analyst upgrade or downgrade, every economic data point, every rumor, and maybe most importantly, the collective fear and greed of millions of traders. It all gets funneled into one single thing, the price of the last trade. That price is the current consensus, the balance point.
So if a company releases terrible earnings, but the stock price actually goes up, the market's basically saying, yeah, we knew it would be bad, maybe even expected worse, and the buyers saw that dip as value.
Precisely. That's the technical analyst's perspective. They're not asking why it happened. That's more fundamental analysis. The technical approach focuses purely on the how. How is the price moving? Where is it finding buyers? Where are sellers stepping in? It's about reading the tape, the momentum, without getting tangled in the external story.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. So if price is king, let's build the kingdom. McAllen starts with 2 fundamental building blocks. First one, boundaries. He calls them support and resistance.
Yeah, and these are absolutely critical. They're like the walls of the room the price is bouncing around in. Think of support as the floor. It's that price level where, historically, the stock just stops falling. Buyers consistently step up around that price, thinking, okay, this is cheap enough, I'm in. It creates a sort of safety net.
And resistance, then, is the ceiling. The price level the stock keeps hitting its head on, right? It struggles to break through because sellers are waiting there thinking, good spot to take some profit.
Exactly. And the really practical thing for you, the listener, is that these levels often become self-fulfilling. Enough traders see the same floor on their charts, they place their buy orders there, and voila, their collective action makes the floor hold. It's crowd psychology in action.
Okay, but here's where it gets interesting. What happens if the price does break through that ceiling, through resistance? Is that level just gone now?
No, not at all. And this is a really key insight McAllen emphasizes. The roles often reverse. When a significant resistance level is broken decisively, it frequently becomes the new support level.
Ah, okay. So people who missed the breakout might think, okay, if it pulls back to that old ceiling, now I'll buy.
That's exactly the psychology. It flips from a barrier to a potential entry point on a pullback. Understanding this S&R flip gives you your first real roadmap for planning trades.
Okay, so we have the boundaries, the floor, and ceiling.
Right.
Now we need direction, right? Which way is the ball bouncing? That brings us to building block number 2, the power of trend lines. The old saying, the trend is your friend.
Right. A trend is simply the overall direction the price is heading over time. McAllen uses really clear visual definitions.
Like the staircase analogy for an uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows, climbing up.
Exactly that. An uptrend is that series of peaks and troughs where each peak is higher than the last and each trough or low point is also higher than the last. If you draw a line connecting those rising lows, that trend line visually represents the buying pressure, the upward momentum. As long as the price stays above that line, generally the bulls are in charge.
And a downtrend is just the opposite, like walking downstairs. Lower peaks and lower troughs.
Correct. Lower highs and lower lows. Connect the falling peaks and you see the selling pressure. And McAllen's advice here is pretty fundamental but crucial. Trade with the trend. Don't fight it. Trying to buy a stock that's clearly making lower lows and lower highs just because you think it should be higher, that's usually fighting an uphill battle, or rather a downhill one. It's the path of most resistance, ironically.
So trend lines show the direction and the strength, and maybe even signal when that trend might be ending if the line gets broken decisively.
Exactly. They provide context. A break of a major trend line is a significant warning sign.
All right, so we have support and resistance defining the range, and trend lines showing the direction. McAllen says when you overlay these, certain recognizable shapes start to appear on the chart, patterns that signal what the big money might be planning.
Yeah, these patterns are essentially the market taking a pause. It's either consolidating after a move, catching its breath, or maybe preparing for a complete change in direction. McAllen focuses on 3 classic patterns that he found have a high probability of playing out, and importantly, they give really clear signals for beginners.
Okay, let's talk about the first one, the big reversal signal. The head and shoulders pattern. Sounds ominous.
It often is for the prior trend. The head and shoulders is one of the most reliable indicators that an uptrend is losing steam and is likely about to reverse to a downtrend. Think about the psychology. Buyers push it up to a peak, the left shoulder. They try again, push it even higher, the head, but then the next rally fails to even reach the height of the head, the right shoulder.
Uh-huh.
See? The buying power is fading. The highs are getting lower.
And the crucial part is the neckline, right? The line connecting the low points between those peaks.
Precisely. The pattern isn't confirmed, it's not actionable, until the price breaks below that neckline. That break is the signal. McAllen is very clear. Don't anticipate the break, wait for it. Once it breaks, it suggests the sellers have taken control, and he provides guidance on setting stops and targets based on the pattern's structure.
Okay, so that's a reversal. What about patterns that suggest the trend is just pausing before continuing? Let's look at the bullish one. The cup and handle.
Ah, yes, the cup and handle. Visually, it often looks just like its name suggests. It's typically a bullish continuation pattern. So you have a stock that was in an uptrend, then it pulls back and forms a rounded bottom, like the bowl of a teacup. This can take a while. It's a consolidation phase. Then as it gets back up near the previous high, the rim of the cup, it pauses again, makes a smaller, shallower pullback. That's the handle.
And that little handle part is like the final shakeout, getting rid of weak hands before the next move up.
That's the interpretation. Yes. It shows that the selling pressure supply that caused the initial pullback has largely dried up during the cup formation. The handle is a final, brief consolidation. When the price breaks decisively upward out of that handle, the expectation is for a strong continuation of the original uptrend. It suggests smart money might be accumulating shares for the next leg higher.
Makes sense. And then there are quicker consolidation patterns, things like triangles and flags.
Right, these are usually shorter-term continuation patterns. Imagine a stock makes a really sharp, strong move up, like a flagpole. Then it pauses and consolidates in a tight, sideways, or slightly angled range. This range might form the shape of a pennant, a flag, or a triangle as buyers and sellers reach a temporary equilibrium. The price coils tighter and tighter. Because the initial move, the pole, was so strong, the theory is that the market is just taking a quick breather before continuing in that same direction.
So a breakout from that triangle or flag in the direction of the original sharp move is the signal to jump back in.
Generally, yes. They offer relatively quick trade setups with a high probability of continuing the prior strong momentum, assuming the breakout is confirmed.
This all seems, well, almost elegantly simple, which, like you said, is McAllen's whole point. But knowing the patterns is one thing, actually trading them is another. How does he suggest putting it all together? This brings us to his 5-step simple trading plan.
Yes, and this is arguably the most crucial part because it introduces the element of discipline. McAllen hammers this home. The patterns, the lines, they're useless without a concrete plan you stick to religiously. Okay, so step 1. Identify the trend. First things first. Are we generally going up or generally going down on the time frame you're trading? This sets your bias. Are you looking for buy setups or sell setups?
Right. Context first. Step 2 then builds the framework.
Exactly. Draw support and resistance lines. Get those key levels marked on your chart. This immediately helps you see the potential playing field. Where might it bounce? Where might it stall? This defines your potential risk and reward zones visually.
Then step 3, you look for confirmation within that context.
Look for a pattern. Does one of the high probability patterns we discussed, head and shoulders, cup and handle, triangle, flag appear near a key S&R level and align with the overall trend? The pattern acts as a potential trigger, adding weight to your analysis.
Okay, now, step 4. This sounds like where patience comes in. McAllen warns against jumping the gun, right?
Oh, absolutely. Step 4 is probably where most beginners stumble. Wait for confirmation. You see the pattern forming, you see the trend, everything looks good. But you must wait for the price to actually break the key level. That might be breaking the neckline of Head & Shoulders, breaking out of the handle of a cup and handle, or breaking out of a triangle. Don't trade the anticipation, trade the actual break. That's your entry signal. Waiting saves you from so many false starts or whipsaws.
Yeah. And the final step. Step 5. Given McAllen learned the hard way, I bet this one is non-negotiable.
Completely non-negotiable. Step 5. Manage your risk. Always. This means knowing exactly where you will get out if the trade goes against you before you even enter the trade. You calculate your stop-loss point, a specific price level where, if reached, you automatically exit the trade to cut your losses short. McAllen basically says if you enter a trade without a predefined stop-loss, you're not trading, you're gambling. It's your safety net. It protects your capital, which is essential for staying in the game long-term.
Wow. Okay, so trend, S&R, pattern, confirmation, and risk management. It really does distill it down. It takes chart reading from being this sort of mystical art form and makes it a practical, repeatable process. The big takeaway from McAllen seems to be that effective trading doesn't have to be incredibly complicated.
That really is the core message, isn't it? Simple, proven tools, but applied with unwavering discipline. That combination can be incredibly powerful. He's really empowering beginners to trust what they see on the chart and trust their plan, rather than getting lost chasing, the next magic indicator.
So let's leave our listeners with a final thought to chew on, building on this whole idea. If McAllen is right, if price action truly reflects everything, the news, the fundamentals, the psychology, what does that really imply about the value of spending countless hours digging through complex earnings reports or economic forecasts, especially if your goal is shorter-term trading?
That's a provocative question. It challenges the assumption that more information is always better. If the chart already synthesizes all that information into the price movement, then maybe the real edge doesn't come from knowing more fundamental details, but from superior discipline in executing a simple, robust plan based on these price structures. It forces you to consider the trade-off. Is deep fundamental complexity actually adding value to your trading decisions? Or could it be sometimes just noise that clouds the simple signals the price itself is giving you? Where should you focus your energy?
Focus on the chart. Stay disciplined. Let the price guide you. An excellent foundation from Fred McAllen. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into making sense of those charts. Hopefully you feel a bit more equipped to start reading the story the market is telling.